Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. The BJP has stormed back to power in Delhi after 27 long years, defeating the Aam Aadmi Party, including its chief Arvind Kejriwal and his close confidant Manish Sisodia. The Prime Minister has participated in BJP's huge celebrations in the BJP office. In fact, he's having a meeting with JP Nadda, the president of the party, and also Home Minister Amit Shah, possibly for the selection of the chief minister, the next chief minister of New Delhi.
Vasudha will tell us when that announcement will be made. But before that, the BJP's victory was sparred by the Prime Minister's campaign, in which he came up with the reference of Apada, a disaster for the Aam Aadmi Party. And today, the Prime Minister, participating in the BJP celebrations in the party headquarters, said that this was a victory dedicated to party workers of the party, Karyakartas, also a vote for a double-engine Sarkar.
Well, the BJP also took pot shots at the opposition party. We will basically get you all those visuals and voices, but first the headlines. Those massive crowds at PM's victory speech in the headquarters of the BJP in New Delhi. Prime Minister says development will be double in Delhi now that the BJP has won. The Prime Minister says Delhi is mini India and the BJP has bloomed everywhere.
All right, three Aam Aadmi Party biggies bite the dust. The giant killer Parvesh Verma defeats Arvind Kejriwal, the face of the Aam Aadmi Party in New Delhi. The BJP Shikha Roy stuns the Aam Aadmi Party's Saurabh Bhardwaj in GK, and Manish Sisodia loses Jagpura.
Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal accepts the mandate. Kejriwal says that he will play the role of constructive opposition. Atishi, the chief minister of Delhi, says it's time to continue the battle against BJP.
All right, well, the Prime Minister has spoken at the BJP headquarters just a little while back, a huge celebration for the BJP. Remember, they're coming back to power in the national capital after 27 years. He's spoken about development, he's spoken about cleaning up the Yamuna, but also significantly, he spent a great deal of time hitting out at the Congress party, a party which for the last 3 elections in Delhi has scored a perfect 0.
In fact, the Prime Minister also lashed out at all the opposition parties, particularly at the Congress party, like Vishnu said, saying that this is that party that has the habit of eating up the votes of all regional parties. In some ways, this also highlights the problems within the India bloc, the opposition unity. Of course, what is the future of opposition unity? That's a big question. Delhi results will have larger implications on national politics and also all the upcoming elections. But first, let's listen in to what the Prime Minister said today at the BJP headquarters.
साथियों, आज की ये ऐतिहासिक विजय है। ये सामान्य विजय नहीं है। दिल्ली के लोगों ने आपदा को बाहर कर दिया। एक दशक की आपदा से दिल्ली मुक्त हुई। आज दिल्ली में विकास, विजन और विश्वास की जीत हुई है। आज आडंबर, अराजकता, अहंकार और दिल्ली पर छाई आपदा की हार हुई। इस नतीजे में भाजपा के कार्यकर्ताओं की दिन रात की मेहनत, उनका परिश्रम ये विजय को 4 चांद लगा देता। दिल्ली विविधताओं से भरे भारत का लघु रूप है और आज इसी विविधता वाली दिल्ली ने भाजपा को प्रचंड जनादेश का आशीर्वाद दिया। पूर्वांचल के लोगों ने इस रिश्ते को प्यार की, विश्वास की नई ऊर्जा दे दी, नई ताकत दे दी। इसलिए मैं पूर्वांचल के लोगों का, पूर्वांचल के एक सांसद के नाते विशेष रूप से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। आज देश तुष्टीकरण नहीं, बल्कि भाजपा के संतुष्टीकरण की पॉलिसी को चुन रहा है। साथियों, दिल्ली में धरना प्रदर्शन की राजनीति, टकराव और प्रशासनिक अनिश्चितता ने दिल्ली के लोगों का बहुत नुकसान किया। साथियों, पूरा देश जानता है कि जहां एनडीए है, वहां सुशासन है, विकास है, विश्वास है। एनडीए का हर कैंडिडेट, हर जनप्रतिनिधि लोगों के हित में काम करता है। देश में एनडीए को जहां भी जनादेश मिला है, हमने उस राज्य को विकास की नई ऊंचाई पर पहुंचाया है। अब यहां बनने वाली भाजपा सरकार दिल्ली को विकास की ऊर्जा के साथ एक आधुनिक शहर बनाएगी। हम देख रहे हैं आज देश तेजी से शहरीकरण की ओर बढ़ रहा है। पहले के समय की सरकारों ने शहरीकरण को बोझ माना, इसे चुनौती समझा, लेकिन मेरा मानना है अर्बनाइजेशन एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है। दिल्ली के लोग यमुना जी की इस पीड़ा को देखकर कितना आहत होते रहे हैं, लेकिन दिल्ली की आपदा ने इस आस्था का अपमान किया। मैंने चुनाव प्रचार के दौरान संकल्प लिया है कि यमुना जी को हम दिल्ली शहर की पहचान बनाएंगे। अगर संकल्प मजबूत है तो यमुना जी के आशीर्वाद रहने वाले हैं। हम मां यमुना जी की सेवा के लिए हर प्रयास करेंगे, पूरे सेवा भाव से काम करेंगे।
All right, the Prime Minister speaking on a range of issues. Significantly for people in Delhi who voted for the BJP, I would suggest for all people, his development focus is very important. The national capital region certainly needs to be improved in terms of the river, in terms of clean air and so much more. Joining us now, Ashutosh Ranka of the Aam Aadmi Party, Anil Antony of the BJP, Nishant Anand of the Congress Party. Thank you all very much for being with us. Ashutosh, how would you respond to those who say that with these election results, at least from a seat standpoint, it is a bit of an existential battle for the Aam Aadmi Party, because some would suggest that the core identity of Arvind Kejriwal has changed. People, the middle class, perhaps even the lower classes, no longer find him an attractive proposition.
Well, Vishnu, if you manage to get about 45% of the overall vote share, I don't really see any logic behind calling it as an existential crisis within the Aam Aadmi Party. Yes, we have been given a mandate which is not favorable for us. Congratulations to the BJP. I hope they really deliver on the promises which they are making. But then at the same time, let me ensure you that we will reflect on what went wrong. We learn from our mistakes, and as in a democracy, we will make sure that we act as a formidable opposition. We hold BJP accountable for all the promises that it has made.
Right. Anil Anthony, you've worked in the Northeast, you've also worked in Kerala. These are seen as uncharted territories for the BJP. Delhi was also seen as a difficult battle, but considering that there is a sung background to Delhi, it was also very difficult to understand why do people vote for Narendra Modi in Lok Sabha but switch to Arvind Kejriwal in Assembly. Do you think that this has fundamentally transformed the Delhi voter in favor of the BJP?
Thank you. Thank you for having me in the show. Today is definitely a historic day for the Bharatiya Janata Party. We are coming back to governance here after 27 long years. One thing which we are seeing as a trend after the Lok Sabha election itself was historic for us by just for the second time in India's history, a Prime Minister came back for the third time. But after that, there were state elections that happened in Maharashtra, in Haryana, and now in Delhi. Even 1 to 3 weeks before the election, we were not seen as the favorites by many. But all these places, that is a common trend, is people have given us the best ever result we ever had in these states. The people are clearly saying that they want a double engine government across India. People know that for the next 5 years, it is going to be a very stable NDA government led by a prime minister in the national stage. And in the last 10, 11 years, almost 300 plus schemes have been created, especially by a prime minister. A lot of work is happening for growth as well as for empowerment. And people would like all these schemes to be effectively delivered on the...
What changed in the last 6 months? Because you also had a reduced mandate in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, which was seen as a setback. And today, the Prime Minister did speak about Milkipur victory. So clearly, UP is also on his mind. You saw those results in Maharashtra. What did the party get right about assembly elections in the last 6 months?
People are definitely seeing through the facade that is the opposition. In the Lok Sabha elections, a bunch of parties came together, the so-called India Alliance. The Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party were part of that alliance also. All these parties came together. They did not have a common vision or a common direction or common leadership. The only thing they had in common was they wanted the Bharatiya Janata Party to be out of power. But the people rejected that. No, finally, despite some people saying that the mandate was less than our previous 2 elections, etc., it was still historic, where it was a prime minister coming back for the third time. And after that, in Haryana, Maharashtra, now in Delhi, etc., people gave us our best ever mandate in each of these states, and that is because people are very clearly seeing that the opposition that are coming together, they don't have a vision for any of these states. And people would like development and progress. Right now, our Prime Minister himself was speaking at the Bharatiya Janata Party headquarters, and something he pointed out, which is a reality, and that is right now, the entire NCR region, it is owned by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Our Prime Minister has a vision to transform India to a fully developed country by 2047, and it cannot...
Hold on for half a second, because we've got our colleague Aishwarya Jain, who joins us from the BJP headquarters. Aishwarya, there's an important meeting, JP Nadda, Amit Shah, and I believe the Prime Minister as well. And I would assume that one of the key decisions being taken is who's going to be the next Chief Minister of Delhi. The name of Parvesh Verma is certainly one of the names doing the rounds. Is there any clarity on what's happening?
Well, it's the BJP core group meeting which is underway at the BJP headquarters. We have been told that it was after the address by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He stepped in his office at the BJP headquarters and started meeting in which it was BJP President JP Nadda, Home Minister Amit Shah, BL Santosh, who managed the entire elections for the Bharatiya Janata Party, is part of this meeting, and certainly it will be decided by the top leadership, the core group of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the name of the Chief Minister, and discussion will be held around that agenda. Of course, 7 ministerial posts are in the national capital, and to decide that as well, there will be deliberation. But of course, observers need to be appointed by the Bharatiya Janata Party, and that will be happening very soon. And later, the legislative party meeting will be called, in which a leader for Bharatiya Janata Party will be elected, and then the name will be sent to the Lieutenant Governor. So all of this will be happening in 3 to 4 days, is something that the top leadership had clearly indicated. They are not going to delay the entire process of forming the government in the national capital, because the message is straight from the centre that they want to start the process of giving good governance as soon as possible to the national capital after getting a huge mandate in these recent elections.
also, Aishwarya, it looks like Parvesh Verma, by defeating Arvind Kejriwal, has also put himself in that prime spot. But there are also other contenders. There are also MPs. There are other MLAs who could also be considered for this position, is what I understand. BL Santosh, the organization secretary of the BJP, somebody very close to the RSS, was also part of today's meeting. But tell us a little bit about behind the curtain scenes today in that victory speech of the Prime Minister. Who all did he meet? Whose backs did he pat? We all saw the speech on TV, but tell us what was the mood like in the BJP headquarters when the Prime Minister arrived?
Well, today the body language of all the top leaders were very different because they were expecting at least till 45, but the number had gone past that, and this, certainly it was this movement that the BJP leaders was waiting for almost 27 years, and it's a historic mandate that the Bharatiya Janata Party had received. Of course, we saw how Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman greeted each and every MP of Delhi. It was also Ashnavi Vaishnav who came early, and it was all these BJP MPs we saw dancing on the tunes of the campaign song of Bharatiya Janata Party, and Virendra Sachdeva himself was very much happy because after he became the president of the Delhi BJP unit, it is the charms that had changed for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Of course, we saw in the Lok Sabha elections, and now in the Vidhan Sabha elections, the Bharatiya Janata Party getting momentum, and then certainly a victory. But as Prime Minister arrived, it was Amit Shah and JP Nadda himself. They both welcomed their leader and Mr. Jay Panda, and it was also these 70 candidates who either won or either lost, no matter what. They all were called in at the BJP headquarters, and they all greeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Of course, the speech was almost 1 hour 30 minutes long, but Prime Minister emphasized on the good governance. As soon as Prime Minister was assuring the promises that were done, specifically to the regards of Yamuna, we saw the entire crowd chanting Modi Modi slogans when Prime Minister stated that they will bring back the glory of River Yamuna, and they will continue to work hard. Riverfront work will begin. These are some very important promises that the Aam Aadmi Party government might have done in the past, but they had not fulfilled, and Bharatiya Janata Party now promising to do so. Clearly, it was Prime Minister who attacked the Aam Aadmi Party, the India bloc, in the end as well.
All right.
But most importantly,
Okay, Aishwarya, can I just ask you to hold your thoughts for a moment? I wanted to go across to Nishant Anand of the Congress Party. A large part, Nishant, of what the Prime Minister had to say actually had to do with the Congress Party. As I understand it, the Congress has scored a perfect zero in the last, including this 3 elections in Delhi. The Congress takes down partners with itself. The Congress first subverts partners' issues. Then the Congress tries to woo its partners' voters. The DNA of urban Naxals pervades the Congress Party, is what the Prime Minister said. So, Nishant, how would you respond to this?
Hi, good evening to everybody. See, first of all, the Congress was expecting to do better, and it has, however, increased the vote share for Congress. The campaign of the Congress was vigorous. We tried our best. Our state president or all the candidates did their best. Now, we might not be in the assembly, but it is definitely a presence in Delhi. A presence that will be expanded electorally with the sustained efforts of all the Congress workers, and we will try to increase our more in the next elections. We will try to do our best, and there will be a Congress government once again in Delhi in 2030. Now, today, the only question is whether people will still continue to talk about pollution. The people will still speak about the issues like Yamuna or the infrastructure, crumbling infrastructure in Delhi, cleanliness in Delhi. So all these issues, or BJP be successful in swiping all these issues by brainwashing. So today the question is that these issues in Delhi needs to be addressed, and BJP needs to fix these issues. They don't have to suppress people or ignore these issues that like they have done in the Haryana or UP and other states. And we want BJP to do the work as they have promised in their manifesto, or Honorable Prime Minister
Score of 0 for the
did.
Congress Party, for a state which had a 3-term chief minister in Sheila Dikshit, to now be 0 for 3 consecutive elections. It's one thing for you to say, let's hope the BJP does its work. I am asking, where exactly do you stand as a principal opposition party?
See, as of today, our vote percentage have increased. And as I said, all the members, all the candidates, all the senior leaders have tried their best in Delhi elections. And we have told people of Delhi the vision that we have for Delhi and the work Sheila Dikshit ji has
Okay.
done for Delhi, which is far more and far better than what Aam Aadmi Party did in 11 years. So we
Before I
have
go
tried
to
our best.
Ashutosh,
Now
Nishant,
we
just
will
answer
also
this
work
one question.
that we
How do you
increase our
feel
members.
about your India bloc allies from Samajwadi Party to RJD to TMC to so many of them actually, putting their weight behind Arvind Kejriwal and not really supporting the Congress party?
See, everybody is independent to choose whosoever they think they want to support. But we need to understand Akhilesh Yadav, the other parties are with Congress, and Congress leaders have already said in past that if somebody wants to support Aam Aadmi Party, it's their wish. But we need to understand Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party. We gave them an opportunity in Haryana by offering them 5 seats. They denied it. They have done. Uh, they were there in Goa, they were there in Maharashtra, Gujarat, or Haryana. So they have not been honest towards this alliance. And so Congress party was strongly campaigning this time in Delhi so that we can at least make sure the people of Delhi can have a better government and the Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party is out of Delhi.
And there was obviously no talk of an alliance between you and the Aam Aadmi Party. That's perhaps hit both of your parties. But Anil, I just wanted to ask you a very basic question, because now, all of this analysis is interesting at one level. But, we live in a city where we have a filthy river, we've got filthy air, we've got crowded streets, we don't get water in residential homes sometimes on a regular basis because the ammonia content is too high. People who voted for you have probably voted on the development plank. Some would suggest on the caste plank. I would suggest only on the development plank. Can the BJP reassure people that you'll clean up the city?
Thank you. Thank you for asking the question. One thing which the Bharatiya Janata Party can very confidently say is that we will deliver on our promises. You look at our track record itself. One thing which is a recurring trend, whether it was a national election, whether it was a third state election, or in a lot of states like UP to Assam to Arunachal Pradesh to Tripura to Gujarat to many other states. One thing which is a recurring trend which you have seen is Bharatiya Janata Party has been coming back not just for the first time, but for the second time, the third time, some states even for the fourth time. And that is because we have delivered. And you look at our opposition states. When was the last time a Congress government has come back for the second time? Never. The reason is very simple. Like wherever we have people have given us a mandate, we always have tried our best to deliver, and we have delivered on the ground. Like finally, in the last 10, 11 years, the kind of growth we have.
2.5 years from now, when we breathe cleaner air, I will take you up on this question.
So definitely, like when our Prime Minister says that we want to have a Viksit Bharat by 2047, it would not be possible without a capital city. Our NCR region and our capital city, which is in the state, sadly, because of some of our India Alliance partners.
And Anil, this time there will be no excuses because both Uttar Pradesh and Haryana, states which are also responsible for working with Delhi on the Yamuna issue, as Vishnu mentioned, or air pollution, are all BJP ruled now. So this time
no
there
excuses, Anil. No excuses.
There will be no excuses, and we are guaranteeing you that wherever we have come, we have delivered, and we will deliver in Delhi and NCR.
Okay. Ashutosh Ranka, when I was speaking to BJP leaders, they say that Kejriwal played on this information asymmetry, where he, talked a lot about his, delivery of welfare promises, but it was not really implemented, to the T. In fact, people in Tughlakabad thought that, Kalkaji voters are getting what has been promised, but Kalkaji voters did not get. And then, everybody starts believing that somebody that they know is getting something. But in fact, there is a problem with that delivery model. We have seen Jagan Mohan Reddy lose. We have seen even BRS lose. And these were parties which are seen as having a very strong welfare model. And now Kejriwal gets added to that list. What was the problem in your welfare delivery model that failed to resonate with people of the city?
No, Masuda, I think it's in all honesty, it's too soon to really comment on what went wrong. Definitely, there were few lapses, there were few mistakes, a few things which probably didn't go our way. Was it the information asymmetry as you were talking about? Was it our campaign messaging which didn't go, which was not able to convince the voters? Was it our candidate selection? Was it our Sangathan? I don't know the right answer to that. I think all that I can say at this point is this is a moment for us to deeply introspect and come back stronger, and really analyze as to how do we take this forward.
Ashutosh, one more question to you. Arvind Kejriwal losing, Manish Sisodia losing, the top two faces of the Aam Aadmi Party have lost these elections. The BJP fought these elections with the face of Modi, not the face of a regional leader, whereas for you, the face of a regional leader, in other words, Arvind Kejriwal, was so important. But if you have an Arvind Kejriwal involved in this controversy over a Sheesh Mahal, then that entire image that he had cultivated around himself, muffler wearing, Wagoner driving, protesting on the streets, coming out of the India Against Corruption movement, offering a new type of politics, seems to have disintegrated. Will you not have to reinvent the basis of your politics?
Vishnu, I mean, see, number one, BJP uses Modi ji conveniently. Now that they have won Delhi, definitely Modi ji will be the face. He'll be the person why he's the reason why BJP won Delhi. So I'll not. I really don't want to get into who led to what. All I can say is definitely it's very disappointing. It's very disheartening to see our top leaders not being able to make it. Although it was quite a close election, was a nail biter. But then at the same time, Vishnu, what we really need to see is the way elections happened in these 2-3 particular constituencies, and I'll actually include Kalkaji also here. I myself was working very closely in New Delhi, and the kind of mass scale voter manipulation, the kind of mass scale bribing, the kind of violence that was meted out against our volunteers, against our supporters, in full coherence with Delhi Police and Election Commission can't be ignored. Having said that, at the end of the day, if the people of these constituencies have voted for BJP, we'll definitely reflect on what went wrong. Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, before being chief minister, before being deputy chief ministers, are also MLAs in their respective constituencies, and we'll definitely reflect and try and understand what exactly could have been done better.
Okay, taking off from Vishnu's question, Nishant, if you look at certain constituency, be it Firaq Suri in Jangpura or for that matter Garveet Singhvi in GK, or even New Delhi constituency where Sandeep Dixit managed to have gotten some 4,000 votes, do you think that being designated as a vote cutter party, does the Congress look for a revival in New Delhi? Because, that's clearly not the tag that you want for your future prospects.
See, as a party senior mentioned today in the evening that Congress will work harder for the next elections, but this time all our candidates and senior leadership have done their best in engaging people. So that is why our vote share has increased. Now, this election result reflect nothing more than the referendum of Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party. Because after all, at the height of Pradhan
But
Mantri
the fact that you guys fought together 6 months ago, doesn't that reflect on the kind of decisions that the party makes? Because these problems existed even in May, even in April, but it was Aam Aadmi Party and Congress Party fighting together in the Lok Sabha elections.
See, as I said, Aam Aadmi Party did not plan wisely when we gave them the opportunity in Haryana. By knowing what they have done in Gujarat and Goa, still they were not able to take a right decision, because I think they were arrogant, or they were not able to do the calculations, and we can see the result today as well. Now, I'll give you an example. 37.9% was the vote share in Haryana for BJP, and Congress was 37.5%. So it was not a much difference. And we even informed Aam Aadmi Party that we are ready to give you 5 seats when they had no Sangathan, no members in Haryana. Okay. See, this shows that rather than being vindictive of the policies, okay, and the
Professor Sandeep Shastri is also here. Professor, do you think that this is the end of Aam Aadmi Party Congress flirtation that we saw, in Lok Sabha elections 2024, but in 2017 and also in 2022, Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat elections came second in almost 30 seats. So clearly, for the Aam Aadmi Party, also beating the Congress was very important.
See, the contradictions that you are having between the two parties which are challenging the BJP, the AAP and the Congress. Now, I think somewhere the Congress is caught between stools. Do you focus on opposing the Congress, the BJP, which is your which is your rival nationally? Or do you take pot shots at the AAP now to say that this defeat was a defeat of AAP? Yes, this was a defeat of AAP, but then there are 6 elections now where you have not opened your account in Delhi. 3 Lok Sabha elections, 3 assembly elections. Right. And this is soon after having been in power in that state for 15 years. So I think the Congress has to do an introspection. It should have happened long ago. But the question of trying to say that the election just over is a referendum on the AAP does not save the Congress from any blame with regard to its performance.
I just wanted to try and understand from you, the seat shares doesn't translate into vote share and vice versa, quite obviously, but the vote share difference between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP was what, 1.9%? Now, for a common person who doesn't understand this all that well, if it's just a 1.9% difference in the vote percentage, then how is it that the seats were so varied between the two? And does this mean, therefore, that the Aam Aadmi Party has retained a large part of their core voter base?
Vishnu, 3 points on that. One, the difference between the BJP and AAP in vote share is 1.9%. But we need to add to the BJP's vote the seats it allotted to its NDA partners in Delhi, so that difference becomes a little wider. The Congress has also increased marginally its vote share. So both these factors need to be taken into account to explain how the small vote share led to such a big seat difference. Third point, and this requires deeper analysis, I think the margin of victories in many seats which the BJP has won is very small. And therefore, all these 3 factors taken together account for why, though you have a small vote difference between the Congress, between the BJP and the AAP, it translates itself into this 48-22 verdict.
But Professor, does the class divide that we talk about in the context of Delhi elections, does that get more entrenched or does it get blurred in this election?
See, our own reading of the elections just over is that a huge chunk of the middle class vote has clearly moved from the Aam Aadmi Party to the BJP. But when it comes to the poorer vote, the Aam Aadmi Party used to get a huge chunk of it in 2020 and the earlier election. But this time around, they continue to get a big chunk of it, but then a significant chunk has also moved to the BJP.
And the Muslim vote?
The Muslim vote has remained to a large extent with AAP, with the Congress taking a small chunk of that vote. So all these factors, that's why you will see in Muslim-dominated constituencies, the AAP has done much better and has many of the seats, the 22 seats it has won, are in those regions.
You know, Professor Shastri, what I find fascinating is that irrespective of the party, this has been an election of giant killers. Arvind Kejriwal lost. Alka Lamba, Congress, strong Congress leader, lost, right? Sandeep Dixit lost. Durgesh Pathak of the Aam Aadmi Party lost. Sisodia lost. Ramesh Biduri, an extremely strong BJP leader, lost, but got himself into controversy before the elections. I don't know if that was linked to it. So how, in a sense, Satyendra Jain lost, and you know, Saurabh Bhardwaj lost.
Somnath Bharti.
We could go on and on. How is it that, I mean, how would you look at this? Big names losing across parties.
But you know, Professor, I'll just tell you, in Madhya Pradesh elections 2023, all the big faces except Shivraj Singh Chauhan lost, but the party won. So this was clearly a vote against Kejriwal and his cabinet and also the party, right?
So as I was saying in the morning, this seems to be a double whammy. One, the party has done badly after being in power for 10 years. Number two, its critical leaders, right from the top, have also lost this election. And let me also, if you look at the last 15 years, one of the political strategies the BJP has very effectively used when challenging its opponent is not merely challenging the party, but putting up very prominent faces against its key leaders.
Right.
Now, that has been a strategy it has successfully used since 2014. And you see that strategy being used in Delhi also. It's not just a defeat of the AAP, but along with AAP, defeat of the senior leaders of the AAP is something that the that has been achieved in the election which we have just seen.
Right.
The analysis of domicile in Delhi is also important because it gets into the Purvanchali vote, which is important for the BJP. Now, there's been some spot analysis which has been done by the BJP. Out of 6 Purvanchali candidates, 4 have won. Out of 14 Haryanvi candidates, 12 won. Out of 3 Uttarakhandi candidates, 2 won. So in terms of the issue of domicile and those who come and live in the national capital but are from elsewhere, the BJP seems to be a very, very favorable choice. To what extent has this been a real factor?
Again, a preliminary analysis is showing that those constituencies which bordered Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, these are constituencies where BJP has done well. These are seats where you will have a large migrant population. The party has done well. And a lot of these seats have come to the BJP from the AAP as compared to the last election. So previous 2 elections, the AAP was able to hold on to these seats. In Lok Sabha, they may have done very well, but there was a big chunk of vote which used to move to the AAP when it came to the assembly elections. This time around, that has not happened. The BJP has been able to hold on to the seats that it won in the Lok Sabha poll, in the assembly poll also. And a lot of this has to do with the border constituencies which you have in Delhi.
Ashutosh Ranka, if Kejriwal, hypothetically had followed a different approach to his politics, maintained a non-confrontational approach with the centre, do you think the results could have been different? Because at the end of the day, the Delhi voter seems to have sent out a message that she does not want to be party to anybody's politics and she just wants work to be done. And here BJP was promising not just work but also welfare. Do you think Aam Aadmi Party could have maybe not really focused on its expansion plans or confronting the centre rather just focused on Delhi and Punjab? Do you think that could have been a better approach?
See, Vasudha, Abhi, if we would have gotten 50 seats, your question probably would have been which state is next for you, what are your national plans, right? It's just the results, and as I said, we accept the mandate of Delhi. It's too soon to talk about what went wrong, what we could have done better. But these are elections. Some things definitely went wrong. We'll reflect on that. We'll get back. But just, there is no way right now we can, tell you concretely as to what we shouldn't have done or what we could have done better.
Right. Anil Anthony also gave us some hint as to who the next chief minister would be. I know all of us are in the
I believe it's on his WhatsApp message just now. Just open that up and tell us now, Anil.
Because your party has given us mixed signals. There could be Mohan Yadav, Vishnudev Sai or Bhajanlal Sharma, but there's also Devendra Fadnavis and Nayab Singh Saini, which were expected names. So we don't know what to expect here.
A stable 5-year government that will be delivering double-engine growth in Delhi. It will be Bharatiya Janata Party very. Or our leadership will definitely choose the right person.
Have all of you BJP leaders memorize that line? Our party leaders will decide in due course of time. You all say it in the same language also.
And I think it's all decided. It's all procedure.
I think it's a surprise element even for the party leaders as to who.
No, but Anil, but more seriously and less facetiously, are we going to see it before the Prime Minister leaves? Because he's leaving, he comes back at the end of the week. Or is that, likely to take some time? In terms of government formation also, that's important.
Yeah, because in Maharashtra, they did take their time to convince people. In Delhi, it looks like a straightforward victory. There are people who need to be rewarded for the risks they took, but also there are hidden faces there.
So, Anil, when would we? Time period. I'm not asking for a name.
It's a decisive victory we have. We are almost at 2/3 majority here. Right now, our leadership already is having a first round of discussions. And it's for a 5-year government. There is nothing to be.
All right. So now that you've not answered that question, give us the name.
Delhi will have a very good minister. That's
all right. I must, Professor Shastri, share and Vasudha share a small story. When I started journalism almost 30 years ago, Sahib Singh Verma was the chief minister, the nicest person ever, wouldn't let a journalist leave his room without a cup of tea. To see Parvesh Verma doing so well is absolutely fantastic. I remember a story when as a young reporter scared, I went into the chief minister's office with my knapsack and an NDTV mic. I dropped everything in my knapsack. And he was standing in front of me about to give me a soundbite. He says, "Bete, main mic pakad leta hu." So he held my mic, I put everything onto my bag. I held my bag, he gave me back my mic, and then I asked my question. And he was patient enough to do that. But how the circle sort of goes the full way around. It's amazing to see him be a real giant killer.
Yes,
Your
sir.
thoughts on Parvesh Verma?
Yeah, I think the way he has spoken out today and the meetings he has had clearly show that he would be a person who is important.
Mr.
But
Shastri,
let's not limit his chances, because let's allow the surprise element to continue to be
Just
there.
last year, we were all wondering why his ticket was cut. His name did not figure in that candidate list for, the Lok Sabha elections. But clearly, this is a special occasion for him. So,
See, if you look at the decision on candidates, you talked about Madhya Pradesh. Very clearly, getting central ministers to contest the state assembly elections, making them ministers, getting state ministers to contest the Lok Sabha elections. So the BJP, when it works out these strategies, they have a plan in place. And given the disciplined nature of the party workers seem to accept that strategy that is adopted. And I think you are going to have something similar happening in Delhi. There are many contenders.
Right.
None of them wants their name to come into the public eye, because the surprise element then goes away.
I've got a little bit of news on Parvesh Verma. He'll be going to his village, Munka, tomorrow at 8 a.m. for a Mandir Darshan. He was at the Bangla Sahib Gurdwara earlier on today. So we'll be tracking him everywhere as far as that is concerned. Vasudha?
yes, Anil Anthony, on that count, let me also ask this question to you. As a reporter who covers the BJP, I was quite surprised that the BJP, in fact, released its list of candidates quite, I think it's just very close to the elections that they did this much after the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress Party released their candidates. In fact, it was the Aam Aadmi Party which was announcing this whole, spate of welfare schemes for the granthis, for the priests, for women, for students. And at some point, it just seemed to a lot of us that the BJP was only trying to catch up. Why did the party use a strategy like this, which was very different from the kind of strategy that it used in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, or even Rajasthan?
Each election, the last 1 year, there were a lot of elections. There were the Lok Sabha elections, you had the Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh elections before, Maharashtra, Haryana, now Delhi. And everywhere, one thing which is a common factor is Bharatiya Janata Party has won convincingly. Each place got its own characteristics. Here also, there were multiple characteristics which led to decisions we took. But finally, the results show that we were right in our strategy. There's a clear vote of no confidence for the Aam Aadmi Party also. Like, even though the impression was BJP is playing catching up, here was a party that, this time the former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, the former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, all the stalwarts lost. You look at the results, this is a huge blow for the Aam Aadmi Party. This is a party that came into existence 10, 12 years back on an anti-corruption plank. It was a party that used to say that it's a party with a difference, where they are against BJP culture, they are against, they wanted to bring governance. And finally, the last few months, everything we were seeing was exactly what the party didn't stand for, or what they were claiming that they were against. Finally, from issues in Yamuna, where Yamuna became a toxic term, you had the Sheesh Mughal that became a symbol of profligate. 6-7 months back itself, almost half their cabinet, including Kejriwal, was in jail. So this was a party that was playing catch-up. They lost all the 7 seats in the Lok Sabha elections. And they were trying to create an impression that, they are still in the race.
Right.
Bharatiya Janata Party had a very strong organization, first of all. We have to remember that just 6-7 months back, we have won all the 7 Lok Sabha seats here. The momentum after multiple state victories, which were also our best performances. And the party was doing very good work on the ground. Our MPs who were elected were up and running. They were everywhere. Campaign started.
Sure.
A lot of, finally, Delhi is the heart of India. It's a microcosm of India. And
It
you
is
had
indeed.
almost 300 of our MPs were actually campaigning here. So many of our cabinet ministers.
Yeah, the BJP certainly threw everything into this election campaign, all of your machinery, so many senior leaders. I'm interrupting you now because we do need to take a short break. We've got several reactions and small interviews with some of the top newsmakers of the day. That's coming up in the next few moments.